Try to get you to laugh.
I really wish I had a
It worked.
snapshot of when we just started. You're frozen while you're eating a like, nut or whatever you're eating. So you literally froze with like with something going into your mouth. I didn't capture it. I don't know if I was able to capture it.
You have to prepare for my entries better into this room.
Cheers, mix, click, and code with Boozy browsing, sipping and fixing the web one cocktail at a time.
I know you're not drinking, but I'm also recycling because I have so many beers left over. I guess beer singulars, right? Beer leftovers.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like a stack of it over there. But the ones I liked, so I'm gonna go with that, was Dragon Milk.
Nice. There
You
went.
had this one, right?
I have. I don't remember. I'm sure I've had it on here. I've definitely had it myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one. Bourbon barrel aged stout.
Hmm.
I'm with the stout. And this is also the cap.
I'm going with a mystery drink.
What is Irish coffee?
Not even Irish coffee. I mean, it's just regular coffee.
Yeah.
It's an afternoon coffee today.
Yeah. We had a miscommunication. He didn't you didn't think I was not drinking. That
Yeah,
was last episode. I ended up drinking anyway, so
it's all right. I'm sure I'll be forgiven.
yeah. So, whoa.
Let's see if I'm any more coherent when I'm just drinking coffee in the afternoon versus having a beer.
Mm.
I
Well,
know I'm more chatty if I have a drink. So we'll see how much you can get out of me.
are you? I feel like it's about the same.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I
I'm
don't know.
pretty quiet without, I mean, sitting here, sure, I'm kind of forced to talk or in a meeting, but
Right. Yeah.
hanging out with people,
Yeah, you and I, it's like if if we're now forced to talk, we
yeah,
probably won't talk.
yeah,
I
I'm
remember
more
like
of a
yeah.
I'm more of a listener, I guess. I do listen and pay attention, but my
Yeah.
wife would probably not say that I'm a listener. So you know how that goes,
I think well, your spouse is so
right?
obviously. But you did mention back in the day before we started Endeavor, you did make fun of me for not talking at all in the meetings. I'll just listen and write. Would not talk.
Yeah, you have to make your voice heard. People, when you do finally say so, unless like you're when the one thing you say is like earth shattering. I mean, you
Mm,
can do that obviously, but if you don't say anything to anyone, then
yeah.
they'll just ignore you when you try to talk to them.
No, but it ended up that way because like a lot of times that I would just not talk and I'll just say one or two things at the end. I didn't intend it that way, but I realized that people pay more attention in those cases.
Well, that's definitely, yeah, because if you think about it that way, you're not overwhelming them with a bunch of random
Mhm.
like questions that no one needs answered or statements like like restating someone else's statement because then people just start ignoring people like that
Yeah.
very
You're
quickly.
just like saying something for the sake of saying
Yeah, just
just
to
saying it.
have their voice heard.
Yeah. To to prove a point that you exist or something like that.
Right.
I didn't really care about that. And a lot of times these meetings, I usually was the only female there too.
Mm.
So I was just not doing anything and I'll ask one or two questions at the end. And I remember people actually heard better and learned it by accident. But anyways, for today's topic is
Now, drum roll. I couldn't even do it
silent.
on my desk. I could do it with my fingers.
So I'm doing a silent drum roll because it actually goes with the
I did real ones.
topic.
Oh, you I didn't catch that. I'm slow. See, I'm not even drinking alcohol and I can't even pick up on the notes. Oops.
Yeah, we're going to talk about silent killers, actually, of
Mhm.
revenue and website, whatever, because some of the things that people overlook because they're silently causing your site or revenue negatively because you're not aware of it. I don't know. Is there a better explanation for it?
No, I mean, if you think of, because we've talked about when people not talk about outages or broken things on their site, that's because someone has reported it, they've noticed it in some way.
Mhm.
So that's fine. You know that those are affecting revenue, click through, like they're affecting things, right? Financially.
Right.
What we're talking about now are the things that the unknown unknowns would be one way to put it. But the things that you should know, they're actually known unknowns, right? They're things that you should understand that they're probably happening if you understand the technology stack in any way that's going to fail sometime.
Mhm.
So even though you're not seeing it happen in any type of reports, so then maybe you're not saying it's affecting anything. These are constantly happening
Right. So
in some way.
items like
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I was gonna say, like, not constantly as like every half a second type
Mhm.
of constantly, but they're happening a few times a month or maybe a few times a day, depending on how big your site is.
Yeah. So some things that are silently failing without you recognizing it because you don't have all the tools or monitoring, whatever. So we'll get into a little more details on that. Or things you're not aware because people are not telling you, your customers are not telling you, or something that you did not even realize is needed or is affecting
Right.
performance or security or whatnot. So I wanted to open with the stats that I saw that thinking about your customers, I think this is extending from what you talked about on the last episode about people who have issues. Like if your workflow is broken and you can't really check out on your e-commerce site, people will just silently leave without telling you. If
Yeah.
they're, like you said, like if you're really frustrated, overly frustrated, outraged, or if you want to come back to buy something, then you're going to report it. But a lot of times people don't report the issues that they have to face and went to a different site. And the actual number that was surprisingly high, it's like 96% of customers who hit a bug on your website never report it and they just leave. And 60% of them never come back. And this was from, let me see what study that was. This was from Noibu report from 2025. So it's very, very recent data. Yeah, that's kind of scary if you
Yeah.
think about that.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely aligns with other types of customer service type things where you always know that there's a certain amount of people that are not going to complain, not going to raise an issue, and then they'll silently not show back up. You have the very vocal, very verbal people like putting reviews on things, right?
Yeah.
And like even as a customer to websites or products, right? You kind of ignore the ones. I ignore the 5 stars, right?
Yeah.
Because those are fake or really irritated people are doing the ones. It's all the middle people, and you can assume there's a lot of other middle people out there that um, just haven't taken the time,
Yeah. I
basically.
mean, you can think about it this way too, because how many times do you really put a review
Yeah,
on product?
when
Like,
you're
unless
irritated.
you're, yeah, unless you're super happy or super pissed,
Yeah,
you usually don't put the review. I don't think there's a, I don't know what the actual number is. I probably should look it up. That what is a tendency to leave a review when you're
right.
just meh about it?
Yeah, yeah. At some point, this just comes to mind. Like, it's I haven't seen this in a long time in recent memory for Amazon. When I buy stuff from Amazon, I would get the review links
hmm
and even other product sites before
You
I
get
would
the
get
items
the
delivered.
product,
Yeah.
and not because it was delayed. It was just it was happening all the time. I felt like, and then a reminder even sometimes. It's
Yeah.
like, well, I mean, that's now thinking about that. Like when you get your food at a restaurant, and the waiter immediately comes by, is like, "How is everything?" And I'm like, "I haven't cut my steak yet."
Yeah.
Like, it's here. Like I'm
Looks
sure it'll be
pretty,
fine. Yeah,
but I haven't actually touched it yet. Yeah, that's a really good point. And that's on the broken, what's it called? Cart or something wrong with your site.
yeah,
Is that's the stuff for that. But the scary part is this is why you need a proactive monitoring, is that when there's a security breach, it takes 194 days to detect and 90% of errors go unreported. This is from IBM research from 2024.
I'm not familiar with that stat,
Mm.
but I wonder if it includes like that whole time frame is just in general and not because so if people aren't familiar with security kind of issues on the web,
Mm-hmm.
someone will find it. It will get reported into these systems that will then verify it. It then gets kind of reported out to the world, um, right?
Okay.
So, is that from initial report that there's a security issue on this, plug-in piece of code, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and not directly to the site? Like if the site got notified or understood, and then it took them half a year, that seems like on average, especially like that seems high to me. But the other approach where it gets reported into security um, agencies, they do their evaluation, and then it gets sent out, and then it eventually gets addressed. Like I don't know that again, that number just feels very high to me. Like in general, I'm sure there's a number that everyone should be doing better,
Yeah. This
right?
is the number it says actually on the table. So
Mm-hmm.
it seems really high to me too. So average time to identify a breach is 194 days. Average time to contain a breach
Oh, okay.
is 64 days.
So that's not like a software, like
Right.
a security like fix.
Right.
It's that
Like
someone breached your
you're
data.
right.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
scary.
That is very scary. And average time to contain a breach is 64 days, and total average breach life cycle is years in a row is 258 days. Wow. Credential-based breach detection plus contamination, 292 days.
Hmm.
Wow. So breaches that are over 200 days cost $5.01 million on average. Breaches under 200 days will cost $3.93 million on average. So internal detection saves $1 million versus attacker disclosed. This IBM research. That's scary.
Yeah, those are big numbers, but I mean, the thing is, like, most of that cost is around like credit monitoring, and like they had to pay for that.
Hmm.
There's some financial, but most websites, even larger websites, are either not storing credit card data
Yep.
internally, or
Yep.
when they are, it's so heavily encrypted and almost never in a way that these breaches could actually pull like
Mhm.
credit card data and then reuse the credit cards for most websites. So it's almost always personal information, um, other types of things that are valuable to users that then they have to pay for the losses around that.
Yeah. And
But
monitoring coverage gaps is 40%, 45% of companies do not conduct any form of UX testing or monitoring. An organization with security staffing shortage occur 1.76 million more in breach cost.
sounds about right. I mean, I would almost guarantee that most companies that are on a commerce platform, to be unnamed,
Mhm.
um, don't do their own monitoring of security or scans of their sites because they assume that they're on this platform that
We'll do it.
somehow is making it secure for them. And there's there's some reality in that, but not complete because especially the ones that allow you to create templates and create like custom functionality,
Mhm.
like if you're doing any kind of custom development that has access to data in any way, then you need to be doing your own scans.
Yeah.
And you're actually, if you look at your terms of service, you are responsible for doing it yourself.
Yeah.
The platform is not responsible for reviewing your code.
Yeah.
On almost, I would say every platform that I know of is not responsible for monitoring and scanning the code that you create as a customer.
Yeah. So if you summarize that, they do the minimal security, like the credit card information. Those kind of things are gated under
Right.
protection or security monitoring, but anything outside of it, you need to do your
Yeah.
own work or own research or own implementation to make sure that you're not making your site vulnerable
Right.
because
Yeah.
that's
They're
all. Yeah.
they're going to do the physical security of the servers, of the infrastructure, and the communication of when the user types in the credit card and it goes into those systems. That is safe and secure. Like they're doing all of that. The the disconnect is all of the individual's information because you're probably storing it in ways that you need to access it to CRMs, to sharing, to social media stuff. Like, not that you're sharing their social media, but you're like tying it into other ad revenue type things, right? Or
Right.
ad sale or ad advertising type systems.
Mhm.
So all of those systems are outside of the realm of what they're securing. They're also outside of, let's say, use Salesforce. Like Salesforce has their own security policies, but they're not responsible for when you're transferring that data in
Yes.
between them,
Mhm.
um, and how that's being transferred. So if you're breached in any way, that communication is probably going somewhere else also.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know?
So you need to ensure the connection is also monitored. So how would you recommend in those cases? What would you recommend to put in?
I mean, they're each one's going to have a different type of system. So there's ones like if you're working on a PHP platform, there's security and things that you can install on the web host.
Mm.
On Shopify, there's a few different partners that have platforms that'll go through the themes, um, or you're working with an agency that does it, has access. Like we have access to these tools that we can have set up for scanning. Those are the areas that I would look at. But every platform that you're using is going to have a different way of scanning it.
Mhm.
I would say, and also limitation on what you can install on scanning it too.
What would you say are other areas that are overlooked by people that they're like, oh, that will cause my revenue to go down or they'll cause my conversion to go down?
Good question.
There are too many and they can be you're just drinking
Well,
coffee.
there's just a lot of little ones that people don't check for. I would
Mm.
say, um, that are just to me obvious. So I don't know like why people don't think about them.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Um,
obvious to you, but it might not be
That's the
obvious.
thing, like, I can't think through my obvious ideas of like, there's still today, a site out there that pays for an ad and it comes up in my search results because 'cause I'm searching for this thing still because 'cause I'm trying to find it cheap, and I'll see it, so I'll click on it eventually, and it's a 404 page. Like,
Mm.
they've been paying for maybe 6 months now for this
Yeah.
ad to show up in people's search results.
Yeah.
And it's going to a 404 page. And I've sent a note. I've been the squeaky wheel complaining and letting them know. And they still haven't fixed it.
Yeah.
Like those things have to be monitored. Like all your ads, all your marketing, like links need to be set up in a way that you are monitoring them, because you are paying extra money for people to click through them. So you're paying for an acquisition that could never ever happen. Like, it's not a $500 per user. It's a infinite money to zero.
Yeah. I
Like,
see that a lot actually. It's a you would think that's obvious, but
right.
it might not be obvious for well, two reasons. One, you might not be you're just negligence, like you're not checking whatever you put in and you just left it autopilot. So you
Right.
didn't really check after years. Two, you might be way too big company or you outgrew, so you never went back to even
Yeah.
clean up whatever you put in. Or you hire the wrong people and then they don't really do their job to do the checks and balance.
Yeah.
So that's not surprising and you see it a lot. Broken links. So one thing that you can do, it's probably going to be not a really hard thing to do. It's a clean audit, simple audit. Well, simple for us, but to
Right.
check all your links and make sure that 404 is not happening. It's redirecting to the right place if your link is not valid anymore. So that's actually a really good point that it's something that people don't really pay attention sometimes. You look so serious. What
I was reading something on top of you. You're good.
All right.
I'm multitasking without looking like I'm multitasking. At least I thought I was doing that.
No, it's very obvious.
Well, I also don't have my glasses on because I was outside and they were like all tinted, so I have to look really close to my screen.
Wait, so I thought your glasses were for the far sight thing.
Yeah, but even that close, I can't see that well. Like little tiny text.
All right. And yeah, so monitoring is one thing. And one of those like checking the links that are connected to third party. But if you don't remember, you should just check all the old links are redirecting to the right place.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And I mean, it depends on how big you are. Like if you're not big enough to pay someone else to do this, then most likely the list is fairly small.
mhm.
So you should be able to like manage it manually somewhere. Um, if you're big enough that you've been paying someone to create these ads and marketing kind of things going on, social shares and stuff, like there should be a system set up that
Yeah.
all those links go into and they are periodically checked for redirects to make sure that they're not going to someplace you didn't want, but also going to a page that responds correctly. Because
Yeah.
there's two things. Well, there's a couple of things that happen. Like I mentioned, a redirect. So if someone set up a redirect, global redirect, you did some kind of redesign, and now it's going to the wrong page. You've got that. You've got someone retired a page for some reason. They're doing a cleanup, so now it's going to be what we call a 404. It's a
Right.
broken page. That's what I was talking about before. Or the third one could be. I was thinking. I had it in my head.
Migration.
I was kind of saying that with the redirect. I had it in my head. Why did I was gonna do 3 really good points.
You're not
Never mind.
drinking.
Yeah, maybe I should be drinking. Maybe I think clearer by the end of the beer. Yeah, I mean, maybe migration, but
Migration could kick off missing links.
oh, I know.
What?
Site breaks, right? So when your site breaks, it doesn't always break across the board. Sometimes it's very specific URLs that will break, and that could be just the way that they're spelled, like that triggers something else. That was the third area. Like it's a weird one, but maybe there's an overlap with the naming convention of the old URL and then this new URL system. So a deployment happened and it broke, but it doesn't break the whole site. So other people don't pick up on it. But now you're paying for traffic to go to this page that's totally broken.
Yes, yes, that does happen. It's like it's related to something we'll talk about in the future when you deploy, your deployment causing something to break. That
Mm,
also affects a lot in different areas, but that's one of the cases that one of the areas that it's breaking is also that.
yeah,
And even
yeah,
like migration is more like a light thing because like if you actually hire the right partner to do the migration correctly, it's less likely to happen. But if you don't do it right, all these links, the older links and redirects, those are not really handled correctly.
yeah,
You're gonna lose different things like SEO stuff is getting dinged and even losing a links
right,
like that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the reality is things break. We talked about that before. Actually, this is a funny story. Funny now that it's over. I did a post today about like not being scared of traffic spikes and just letting things break. It was a scheduled post that it was scheduled for a certain time. Happened to be doing the deployment at the same time, and the deployment brought the site down. Live deployment, dev staging was fine. Live deployment, things do break. Um, we knew it right away. Like our team, like it was a caught right away because we were monitoring and watching it happen. The but it took a while to fix because again, things do break. The host was doing an update at the very same time as our deployment was going up. So we didn't put like testing for this, like testing that it would continue to pass, but it basically we push up files, right? Well, some of those files didn't make it, which is really weird for the way we have our deployment set up. And the site was breaking. And it's like, well, this is really weird.
Yes.
Tried to do the deployment again, but it was still happening basically.
Yeah.
And then we went through a whole debugging system, and yeah, that was fun to deal with this morning. But we don't have to deal with it a lot. But even working with, I would say, really good firms like ours, you're still going to have issues. Like deployments are still going to break, unfortunately. Now, sometimes that's really obvious. Like this one was really obvious. The whole admin was broke. The
Mhm.
front end stayed up, but still, because we were testing all the pages, it was flagged.
Right.
But sometimes, you're dealing with people that'll just throw stuff up and then you'll check it tomorrow, type
Yeah.
of thing. Or you're not checking thoroughly enough, and random pages are broken.
Yeah. I've seen it happen with, especially like you have this is why we want to work with trusted managed hosting companies that handles all this quickly enough and then
Yeah,
communicate easily enough. But there were times that the clients that wanted to handle everything internal, but they also have a different teams doing it.
yeah,
It there's so many times that different teams didn't tell the other team that they're doing some upgrades. Whatever upgrades they're doing, they're updating the patch, they're enhancing the bot detection rules around their CDNs and or some
yeah,
other thing. They're adding extra rules on their server. All these things could trigger certain parts of the site to go down, and it takes forever to troubleshoot what really went because
yeah.
you only recognize it sometimes that when you push something out around a time because you didn't know there's something else going on and you're trying to pin it. We're trying to isolate what might have caused this break.
Related to what went live.
Right. And
Right.
then, like, at the end of the day, once you actually troubleshoot everything, it turned out to be one of those things that they did some server upgrade or serve something without communicating properly. Or they communicated and they didn't really listen. So this does happen too. And
Yeah.
a lot of times, even like the managed hosting this is why we wanted to stay with the ones that we are trusting and we are partnering with, is because it's easy to find out what they were doing right away. So we can have a plan to fix it right away. Because
Yeah.
things break, like you said, because there are things and they might have not communicated to us, or they maybe sent an email, but it probably went to a wrong folder and then some people didn't read it. That does happen, but it's a matter of how quickly can you recoup and fix it. So, anything else to add on that? I think there's a
No.
lot of other little things that we can come up with, and it's not necessarily it's silently killing your site. It's like it's affecting your revenue because there's a lot of little things that we'll probably identify it as we go with different
Yeah.
episodes. We'll try to do more often about just touching the real potential issues you can be aware of and something you can fix easily or with just being aware of it so that you'll prepare for it or hire the right people to handle that. That's the point of this. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not killing, but if you had a way of fixing, this is a leakage of sales in some way, right? Like, say it's affecting 1%. Um, that's not, so you're still spending the money to get that 1%. You're
right.
spending the resources, the time, the money, everything to get that 1%. It's going away. You immediately, if you fix the problem, you get at least that 1% back
Mhm.
in, not all profit because you're still spending money on the product itself, but still, it's a significant win when you stop losing all these things.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like 1%, if you're a $30 million company, yeah, our company, 1% is it? Wait, what is it? 300.
30,000?
Yeah. My I think maybe I drink too much or drink too much of that. My math ability just deteriorates every time.
Your
Although I
brain has
took,
been taken over by LLMs that still don't know how to do math.
but I have to admit that my friends have been joking because I was super into math. Like I wanted to just like be a mathematician because I was so into proving a lot of things.
Oh,
But I sucked at calculating the
Yeah.
numbers.
I'm the
So, like,
opposite. I'm
yeah,
good at math, as
yeah,
in division, subtraction, addition, not like proofs and like the really hard stuff.
yeah. And it was one of those. It's up to a point that I'm one of those people. Like when you're like in college or whatever, I'll get all the equations and proving point right, and I'll get the calculation wrong at the end. So I get the points for the actual proving portion of
Right.
it. In that case, can you say you're good at math or not?
I mean, I'm good at what people know math is.
I'm good at proving theories with all the knowledge I know.
Oh, are you able to say? Well, yeah. So that's the thing. Like most people wouldn't even know that those things exist,
Yeah, like
right?
all this like crazy stuff that I didn't even have to take. I was like one of those like dorks
You
that I
can't
yeah.
add and subtract and divide, though. Come on.
I'm always little off on the digits.
Yeah, it's a
It's like,
rounding error. That's what people
I
say.
know,
It's fine.
it's not practical at all. Like my ability is not practical at all.
Mm. Well, I said like I didn't know it was 30,000. It's like it could have been 300,000. Like now I think about
Wait,
is
is
it
it 30,000
it's
or
300,000. You let me slide on something that wasn't even right. You said 30 million?
yeah, 30 million. It's not 30,000. It's
No, 300.
300,000.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you let me slide on it just because I sounded super confident.
No, because
That's a whole different topic.
I was thinking 3 million and I'm like, wait, I'm off. So maybe he's
That's
right.
off. Yeah, that's 10%. Yeah, see?
I'm
See, I
like,
just sounded confident, so then you're like, "Oh, you must be right."
yeah, yeah. That's a caveat. I need to work on that.
Challenge me more often.
I'm blaming on the booze.
Yep.
Anywho, so yeah, we're hoping to do more of these takeaway points you can take
Yeah,
to fix
takeaways.
it or be prepared for it.
Yeah.
So on that note.